Craig, you ready? You good, dude? Everything for you is good?
Good. Let's rock.
Todd, I got to tell you, this is the first time I've seen you in a t-shirt, like with sleeves.
Sleeves and stuff?
Yeah.
With sleeves.
I'm
It's
like,
a little chilly out here.
yeah, Todd got domesticated. Okay, cool. What's up, everybody? It's your friend Isaac from Big Bike BMX, and we are back for part 2 of the SE collaboration podcast series. I'm here with my trusty ride or die homie, Craig. What's up, Craig?
Dude, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm great, man. It's we're doing this podcast a little bit late, so like if we're all kind of yawny, it's because it's late. But we specifically, when I say we, Todd was like, dude, we got to get this done. And so we absolutely will accommodate. And, but man, this just goes to show that like Todd's super stoked about this stuff as much as you and myself and Craig are into this. Todd's into it too, man. So he's stoked to share some stuff with you tonight. So, I feel like I just gave away by telling you that. I feel like I gave away the guess, but, you guys welcome Todd Lyons, director of SE Bikes. What's up, Todd?
Yo, what's up, dudes? Ready to talk some more behind the scenes collab stuff?
Appreciate you doing this late at night, man.
Say it again?
I said, I appreciate you doing this so late at night for us.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, it's either I have time when I wake up at 5 in the morning to go drive the SoCal BMX ride route, and I've got time after my daughter goes to sleep. So I got like a 12-hour stretch of no time, and then I get a little bit of time. Start the day and end the day.
Totally get it, man. Craig and I, we're all three of us are dads, and we all completely understand this. So like, it's not lost on us.
Yeah, man. Early, late. I'm still hyped. I'm ready for this, man. Part 2. Here we go.
So Craig, where did we leave off last time? We were talking about, where did we leave off, dude?
Well, the last episode, when Todd dipped out, we were just talking and going over things. We were talking about the collabs that we went over. I think we left off, if I'm not mistaken, with the DC collabs, right?
Yep,
So
yep.
That's exactly where we left off, and we were just going over those things and talking about everything we liked about them, and yeah, man, I'm ready to dip back into it.
Okay, yeah, Todd, is that the way you remember it, Todd? I remember we left on DC, if I remember right.
Yep, yeah, DC. Yeah, we did our first collab in 2007. And then we did the 2008, 2009, and I think, 2010-ish is where we kind of left it after we were running overtime.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna throw up some pictures. We'll get right into it. So, if you're new to this series, we are talking with Todd Lyons, director of SE Bikes, about the collaboration models, that started where we're at today. And we're just going to go through. We don't know how many episodes this is going to take, but we know what the last episode is going to be. It's the collaborations that didn't make it. So we're going to end on that one, but we're just going to go through and talk about each one of these bikes. On the deck tonight, we've got, we're going to wrap up DC, Crooks Castles. There's a couple snuck in here that I think Todd accidentally sent me. And so we're going to get them on the hot seat to talk about them. And then we're going to go through the famous Stars and Straps, Travis Barker bike, and then the Santa Cruz. So Todd, I'm gonna start sharing some pictures, and we'll just have you kind of talk through them.
Alrighty.
All right. So the first one here is a wild card. The agenda.
Yep.
What's this
that
one?
was that was the agenda. Was the agenda trade show in Long Beach in the Long Beach Convention Center. It was a streetwear, clothing, trade show. And 2 years in a row, they asked us to come there and actually gave us a free booth. They wanted to kind of get some more like BMX brands, some core BMX brands into Agenda and kind of give it a different flavor than just streetwear clothing. And some skate brands were there, but there was really no other sporting, sports, stuff in there. They wanted some bike brands. So the first year, I think we were the only bike brand that went there. It was kind of cool for us to get invited. Like I said, I don't know how much to vend there, or not vend. People don't sell there. It was a trade show, But I'm sure it cost thousands of dollars, and they just gave us a free booth. And anyway, but with that being said, they asked us to make a one-off, agenda bike with one of the clothing brands there. And this clothing brand was called Division. And looking at that bike, you can tell that was the OM Flyer. And we had, really cool number plate made up, and we kind of redid some graphics on it. So that was the Agenda Division OM Flyer. And I think we only made one, so literally that was a one of one. We may have made two, we may have made three. I can't remember. This is back, nearly, 10 years ago. Yeah. But anyway, so that was our lead in to, getting involved with, this kind of streetwear, trade show.
Todd, when you're doing the one-off bikes like this, obviously you're using the OM platform here, the OM frame and everything that goes with it. The process of, typically on designing a bike can take words up to, a year or more, correct? And
yeah, but yeah.
So this one,
one-off,
yeah, it's one-off. So was this one just like literally, it's a one-off, but so obviously you got to do the decal design and put things together. So what was the time frame to get something like this from concept to the trade show floor?
Man, I can't really remember. I know that number plate was custom. It may have been made by the guy, what's his name? I'm drawing a blank on his name, but there's a guy that he makes old school number plates, now, but he's made, I can't remember the brand he does, but it's like old school number plate. But I think he made that plate, and that was an ordeal to get that plate on those bars. So that was a customized plate. I remember there's probably more work went into the plate than anything, because I think the frame, getting the decals wasn't that big of a deal. But this is also a decade ago, before every Tom, Dick, and Harry was doing decals,
Yeah, right.
But the bike stood out. It was definitely got people looking and piquing their interest into the bike side of the trade. This. Instead of just thinking skateboards and clothing, they're like, oh shit, these bikes are cool too.
And is this like the way I was looking at the way I differentiate, like, oh, that's an OM, is the rear triangle. Is that the easiest way to spot them? That's just me asking about OMs.
Well, yeah, but also just the chromoly. How many chromoly bikes are in the, besides the quad angle loop, double down tube quad angle loop, to how many bikes are chromoly in the SE line?
Duro,
besides the freestyle.
Yeah, Duro OM. It's the only ones I can think of.
And that's it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then the Duro has just only been in for the last few years. So yeah, so the OM Flyer is really the only, and the OM Flyer back in 2005, 6, 7, 8 was aluminum, and I think 2009 was the first year we took it back to chromoly. Nice. And I did that just to kind of make it, differentiate it, and just make it look more old school. Yeah, totally. Small tubing, but the OM. Were those Amy's?
I don't think so.
Or are they Oakleys?
I think they're Oakleys. Craig,
you sure? Zoom in. I bet they're Amy's. I don't think we were doing.
Let's see if I get it. They're the ones that they're kind of teardrop.
They look like Oakleys, dude.
They look like Oakleys.
Zoom in more.
Let's see.
Can you see it?
No, those are Amy's.
Are they?
Oh, dope.
Yeah, I couldn't even. That's funny. I must have just because I just knew from that era, because we did use Amy grips on our bikes. I think we used Amy's. I think we did use Amy's one year, and then we just never did it again.
Dope.
We actually use Oury grips too, on our fixed gear bikes. Oury, Oury. Oury. You remember those grips?
They're comfy, dude. I have a pair. Yeah.
Do I still rock those on one of my bikes today? So yeah.
All right, man. I have another change up for you. Let's see this one.
Yeah, this was a bike. This was the 2000 and my years. I've done so many fucking bikes. I have trouble keeping track of my years sometimes. But this was the OM Flyer that was candy apple red with gold parts, gold and yellow parts. This is actually a collaboration we did with a band, a music group called Rat-a-Tat, but they're like just a musical group. There was no singer or anything. I think it was an electronic group also. But if you zoom in, you'll get this. Zoom in on that down tube decals and tell me what it looks like.
Well, it gets all
digitized. It's pixelated from here.
Yeah. Well, it kind of looks like just Rat, the old Rat logo, I think.
It does. It looks just like the Rat logo.
Yeah, it was Rat-a-Tat. Anyway, so that was our 2000 and I think 2008 OM flyer, which was one of the best OM flyers we ever did. I think it was candy apple red, yellow tires, gold rims, all that crazy almost gold looking seat. But yeah, again, this is like a one-off. I think we made like 5 bikes for them. And these decals were like made over at our factory. I definitely remember and I think our factory may have even painted this bike. They just customized down their end, painted it, white for the frame and fork and put the special decals on. But anyway, just another marketing promo thing. They did a lot of promo with it. I have a flyer of some sort with the bike also. I forgot to send that over to you, but it is another kind of cool one-off thing. And, if somebody's still got that bike somewhere, it's definitely, super duper collector's edition.
That gold cable though. I love that. All right. Yep. So we're going to head back into the DC land.
Hey, wait, what happened to the other agenda bike? You lost it. There was the other agenda. No, the starter, the one we do with starter jackets.
Oh yeah. Hold on 1 second. I'll add it.
That is a good point that, Todd brought up about these being collectible as far as, one-offs and limited, very, very limited. It's almost like, to see if these still exist or where they're at, or if there's any in the condition that they were in when they were first put together, man, that'd be dope to see who has these if they're still out there.
Well, yeah, some of the bikes, like when we first made the Big Ripper, we only made 4 of them. The very first one, which wasn't even called Big Ripper, it was just the 29-inch PK Ripper. But one of those floats around. One of the guys, Mike Benagaro, I think might still have it. He bought it from somebody. I mean, I had 4 of them at my house, and I took them and left them up with Rob Deerdeck and Big Black, and they just gave them away after a while, or sold them. Who the heck knows? But yeah, so at least one of those is still floating around, and when it gets passed or sold, it goes for top dollar.
Yeah, dude, I gotta say, right, I think I saw it on eBay not too long ago, like a year ago. But it's like, is that really legit? One of the original 4 that was on the show.
Yeah, yes. Well, I don't know if somebody's pulling a fast one, but how you can tell is that that frame is like an inch longer than a regular Big Ripper. The rear end is really long, and then the front forks are like a suspension corrected fork. So there's a really big gap, about a 3-inch gap from the top of the tire to the crown. So there are a few keys that show that you can tell that is one of the original, 104.
Nice.
For the first Big Rippers. And those bikes basically lived at Rob Deerdeck's house and were ridden by Big Black and those guys. All right, so this was second year at the Agenda Trade Show, and this time we each year that they gave us this free booth, they asked us to do this just kind of a one-off collaboration bike with one of the brands that was vending, or also not vending, but also at the trade show. And this year they teamed us up with Starter, Starter jackets. And this bike looked really cool. And this must have been our 2012 Big Ripper. Yeah, this is 2012, which was all black, and it kind of mimicked our 2009 Big Ripper, which actually mimicked the first ones we made for Big Black and Rob Deerdeck. Anyway, so this year at the Agenda Trade Show, they actually had four or five, I think it was 4 other BMX brands kind of do the same thing. They weren't doing it with big BMX bikes. They were doing them with 20-inch bikes, as you can see behind. You can see another bike back there. But I can't remember all the brands that did it that were there, but it was definitely Colts, or actually maybe that's point. It may have been Fit. I don't know if Colt was around then. But I just remember Robbie Morales, who was running Fit way back in the day. Then now he runs Colt. Anyway, he was there, and I think Sabrosa, and I think maybe Sabrosa was definitely there, and I can't remember the other BMX brand, but there's, like I said, there's about 4. And the other one brands were just pure 20-inch BMX, and we were the one big bike BMX brand. But yeah, anyway, that's another cool one, and I have no idea who's got that bike either. You know, that's another collector's edition floating around somewhere.
I would love to get a starter bike, dude. Starter was so big in my world growing up.
Yeah.
Was it big for you guys? Was it big for you? Like, was it big in the Midwest, or you were already probably in California by that time, huh?
Well, I mean, I moved in 1990 after I graduated high school, but no, I just always think of starter jackets. That's the only thing I can think of.
Dude, I didn't know they made anything but hats
there.
and jackets. Yeah, hats and parkas.
Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. Okay. Now we'll move on to the DC.
Yep. So this is another elusive one-off bike that's floating around. Actually, I think there might be 2, at the most 3 in the world, because I know that a while ago when people were trying to pinpoint, you know, what the bike was and how much it's worth and where it came from. I mean, I had one in my garage. I had the one sample bike, which you'll see in a minute, but for you know, a year or more, and then I finally sold it to somebody, and then anyway, but in the threads, I remember at one point, you know, I was saying there was only one, and then somebody in Europe was like, I got one. It's like, oh yeah, fuck, one of the samples went to Europe also, you know, so there's literally like 1 or 2 of these around. Anyway, so this was going to be the 4th year of working with DC Shoes. We did 2000 collabs with them in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010. So actually, this is going to be the 5th year. And we were designing this bike. And if you recall, the first year we did the 20-inch PK Ripper loop tail. The second year we did a 24-inch quad. The third year we did a 26-inch quad. The 4th year we did a PK Ripper fixed gear. And then we were going to do now a 29-inch quad. And what was really fun with DC was we were always creating these bikes that didn't exist in the market. You know, like the 24-inch quad never existed. The 26-inch quad never existed. The PK Ripper as a fixed gear never existed. And then this 29-inch quad angle loop tail. You know, now we're a couple of years deep of making our big Ripper and realizing that, oh shit, we could do more in this market. And anyway, so they wanted to do like a copper color. And then they wanted to mix it in with some reds. And I thought, I mean, maybe that those colors might look good on a shoe, but God, they look fucking weird. And this is just the graphic of it, you know, that you're seeing here, but red spokes, you know, red seat, red, you know, painted red rims, red sprocket, red pads, on the copper colored, frame. And anyway, yeah, so you can go to the next thing. This was the graphic. And what happened is, actually, before I get, what happened was fucking Halloween happened.
I was going to say, are we not going to talk
Halloween,
about,
dude? That's Todd in his backyard.
It's just a Tuesday. Yeah, I was going to be like, are we going to dress what you're wearing, or are we just going to roll with this? Like, so Vin Diesel holding up a quad right here. So actually, you know what you should say. You know what you should do. Isaac, actually try to go to pull up the photo, because when we finish this little part, pull up the photo. You have to find it online. I don't know if you can do it while we're on, but of the copper quad, the 2000 and I think 11 or 12 copper 29-inch quad. So anyway, so the storyline of this is going to be a DC bike. That's the sample. You know, I've got the sample in my hands. And then zoom, you know, you go back to that graphic, you know, it had red spokes. I don't know. Does this have red spokes on it? You can see there it shows it with red spokes. It does not. Look, you got
okay. Chrome. Okay, good. Yeah, because it looks fucking weird. Anyway, so this bike was, you know, and the copper quad, the production bike is actually, you know, one of those bikes that people pay top dollar for, you know. But before that bike came out, like I said, this was planned to be a DC collaboration bike, and DC actually changed ownership during the time we were developing this, and basically this project just got killed, you know, but got killed after they'd already made the one sample bike, which I have there. And like I said, which is floating around. Somebody somebody in the old school, you know, collector world has the bike. And they've used this photo to show that, you know, that it is authentic, you know, because I've posted, you know, I've given the story also to back it up saying, yes, this is the only one right here, you know, and you can tell by the colored rims and the colored, you know, the colors of it. So anyway, so we ended up making the copper quad, you know, without it being a DC logoed bike. There you go. And we took that hideous red off there and kind of replaced it all with black and, you know, black and brown. And this is a really, really in demand, you know, collect that. Yeah. I mean, if you're going to say, hey, what are the top, you know, in the past 10 years, what are the top collector's bikes, you know, that people will pay top dollar for sure. This is one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen this bike, you know, that bike up for sale and people going over $5,000 for that bike.
God. Yeah. And we I think we probably only made 150 of them. I could be wrong. I mean, I could look it up later, but we made maybe 253. Yeah. Well, no. That one, the sample one, we only made one. Like there's like one or two. Like I said, there might be one floating around in Europe. Yeah. But that one, I'll look. You know, I've been meaning to. One of the things that's been on my list for months is to do a post and multiple posts, and also put them on like Facebook, so somewhere that the posts can live. But to let people know the quantities of certain bikes that we made.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, people ask me now, like there may be a bike we're making right now. Hey, how many of the $100 money lynches are you making or did you make? It's like none of your fucking business, you know, which, that's not an individually, you know, numbered limited edition bike. You know, it's like, go ask GT or go ask any other brand or go ask a car company how much of anything they made. They're not going to tell you. Anyway, but once the bike is done, sold, out of the market, you know, then like in the coming years, I don't mind telling people the numbers, but when we're making it, it's, you know, kind of none of their business, you know. And,
sure.
And unless it's, like I said, an individually numbered limited edition bike, where we'll call it out right in the beginning. Hey, we made 500. We ordered one PO 500. They're numbered in the rear of the dropout, you know, and when they're gone, you know. So there are some bikes we'll tell the numbers, but not every bike.
Well, Todd, on a bike like this, that's such a hot commodity. Do you like, okay, for instance, a copper finish on this quad, can you go back? Can you zoom in on my nuts?
Jesus.
Hey, did the guy get that outfit with the bike too?
Yeah.
Man, but
hey, I wore that. Wait, hey, you know what's funny? I wore that outfit this Halloween actually at Dick Cheeseburger's house.
I saw it. I just saw it on your Instagram.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I barely fit into it. I didn't fit into it really that well at all, and my nuts were hanging out.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny is to see like how the progression, because like in the background, I've been going back and forth between this one, and like look at the grips. Like the grips here are black, blue.
Yeah, it was a weird. I don't know what happened there. And the seat, that seat is from the Stout. We used to make a bike called the Stout, and that's what that seat is from.
Yeah.
Oh, we made a 29-inch bike, a single speed bike called the Stout. Hey, how do you like that chain guard?
Chain guards fly.
That's dope.
All right, so here's the pads.
Hold on a second. So what I was going to ask, Todd, the copper bike being so popular, right, and being one of the most sought after bikes out there for SE and the quad, whatever. Do you guys consider, or do you consider like making another, say, copper bike again, since it was such a hit, it's still such a hit, or is that just of an era past?
I was personally, I was never that crazy about the copper, and I don't know if they like the copper or they like the quad angle, you know. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it goes along with that wood finish bike, you know, the wood grain. People love that bike. They love when that comes up for sale. They love it. Well,
you know what's funny? They didn't love it when we made it. Like when it first was in the market, when it was sat in our warehouse for, you know, didn't even, you know, we used to have, I mean, not that long ago, literally, we would have a selling season of 12 months. And at the end of the 12 months, we'd still have bikes in the warehouse. Then we'd have to close them out and like slash their price and to get them out and make room for the next bikes. And it's like now it's like the way it works now, it's like we've let our dealers know all the bikes we're getting through February, and they're all sold already. So now it's like, you know, it's like bikes are sold, basically pre-sold before they've even been produced. You know, it's just a whole new world for SE. But anyway, the OM
preaching to the choir, brother. Preaching to the choir. Thanks a lot, Sean, about that fat quad. By the way, anyway, carry on.
The wood grain OM Flyer, like that year when we made it, it didn't sell well, you know. But now it's like this, you know, and I probably the same thing with this. I doubt this. I bet this didn't sell that well, you know. And it wasn't going for big money then, or, you know, being traded and sold and bartered, you know, then, you know, but give it, you know, quite a few years and now it is. But anyway, so the 29-inch double down tube quad angle loop tail is definitely on my radar to bring back. We've just got so many other bikes that were like new bikes that we're bringing in. It's like, and I know as soon as I bring it in, it's going to sell like crazy, but it's also kind of interesting to, you know, knowing that people want it and be like, you know what, let's wait another year, and then, let's wait another year, you know, and just kind of keep, you know, because what the other stuff that we're bringing in instead of that bike, it's still going to sell like, you know, the other bikes are going to sell like hotcakes. So it's just like trying to squeeze it in, you know.
I expect weird stuff from the quad though, like the yellow one, and then, you know, you've got this one. Like for some reason, the quad is just such a unique looking bike that like I expect some weird ass graphics or it's just like a weird color scheme.
Well, on the quad, the double down tube quad. Well, actually, so the 29, you know, we did make the STR 29, you know, which is a double down tube, you know. But when we made the STR 29, we made it really short. And I don't know if I've told you this story before, but we made that bike the year after we made the Fat Ripper. And the Fat Ripper, when I rode the Fat Ripper, you know, in 2016 was the first year of the Fat Ripper. And I was like, my God, this is fun. You know, I love that bike. This bike is amazing. It's so easy to throw around. It's so fun. The cushion in the tires, you know, and you can just ride up steps. And then when we started developing the STR 29, you know, it was a brand new frame. So it was an open canvas for geometry. And I don't think most people realize the height of the tire of a 26-inch Fat Ripper tire, the wheel size with the tires, granted it's a 26-inch bike, but when you put that bike next to a 29-inch bike, put it next to the Big Ripper, the top of the tires are the same height, you know, so that 26 really has the wheel size outer circumference, which is the same as the 29. So anyway, so the story here, what I'm trying to get at is, so when I was making the STR 29 quad angle, I was like, fuck, I want this thing. I don't want this thing just to be a chill cruising, you know, Big Ripper, which at the time wasn't a wheelie bike. Nobody's wheeling them. It was just a nice chill bike for old motherfuckers. And anyway, I was like, man, I'm going to make this thing ride and be responsive and be, you know, short and just a wild, fun bike to throw around like the Fat Ripper. So I kind of mimicked the geometry of the STR 29 to match the Fat Ripper, or to be really similar. So there were definitely people, and this was before you came back on the scene, Isaac, but there was definitely a lot of the old school heads that got all excited that saw the STR 29 was coming out, because that was the first of any of the STR bikes. That was the first year we did it. It was our 40-year anniversary in 2017. A lot of guys pre-ordered it sight unseen, but then when they got it, they realized, holy shit, this is kind of short, you know? So some guys didn't like it, but then other guys freaking loved it. Like, oh my God, I've never ridden a 29 like this, you know? And so, you know, anyway, I kind of went off on a tangent there, but the, I don't know what I was talking about.
So for me, I look at it like, well, go ahead.
Well, no, I do. So anyway, so what I was trying to get at is we made that copper quad in 2012, I think. We made it again the next year with a really dark matte gray, not a matte, but a really dark gray with blue anodized parts. It was a really dark bike. So we only made it in 2 years, 2012, 2013. And then in 2017, when we brought back, did the STR 29, we changed the geometry. So it really wasn't like that, the previous quad 29s. Anyway, so now here we are, whichever year we bring back the 29-inch quad angle loop tail, whether it's 2021, 2022, 2023, whenever we bring it back, I will go back. The geometry will be more closer to the original one, you know, because a lot of the old school guys are like, man, that bike was great. It was so big and comfortable, you know, that they didn't like the STR 29, you know, the STR 29 was liked by more active riders, not just the chill guys.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to tell you, dude, I love that completely. Well, I'll tell you later. I'll say it real quick. The fat quad is the perfect flatland bike because of the lower top tube. Like the other day I was doing like can endos, and it is effortless, dude. It's just like bloop, there you go. So if you're a wheelie, this is off tangent, but if you're a wheelie kid, definitely get yourself a fat quad because you can step over the top tube like with minimal effort. So when you see these kids jumping, like switching, like on the cranks, you need a fat quad. I'm just gonna tell you that. Todd, my follow-up question though is, you know, so if somebody comes to you for a collaboration, how open are you to doing like you know, new bikes, or do they get to pick the bike? Or, you know, if someone comes to you, XYZ brand comes to you and is like, I want to do a 29-inch quad, do they get to pick that, or do you tell them the bike they get to pick? The base frame.
With DC, we, you know, I think it was actually, you know, I mean, this is early in my days of kind of running the brand too, you know, and I think it was Damon Way, you know, his idea. Hey, you know, I love the quad angle, but you know, let's do it in a size. Let's do it, you know, and then that just snowballed into 24, 26, and then same thing, the PK Ripper fixed gear. You know, I wouldn't have thought to do that. You know, that was kind of a weird, like, that was a really fucking weird thing to do, you know, but it was cool. You know, once it was done, it was really cool. But it's like, holy shit, we're going to take that classic, you know, brand name PK Ripper and put it on a fixed gear bike, you know, which anyway, but once you have, you know, the marketing power of a brand like DC behind it, it's like, okay, let's do it, you know?
Yeah.
But anyway, so let's back it up a little. Yeah. So anyway, so we got into a rhythm with DC where every time we did a DC bike, it was a new bike that had never existed before, which is cool. You know, I really got a kick out of that. But you know, I'm trying to think what other bikes. Oh yeah. You know, well, the Hundreds, remember we talked about the Hundreds, which is a streetwear clothing brand in 2000, I think in 2010, we did a collab with them. That was the first 26-inch PK Ripper we'd ever done. And I think we did that because that same year we were doing a collaboration with Crooks and Castles, and they wanted the OM Flyer. And neither of, you know, the Big Ripper wasn't even on. I mean, this is like the second, you know, if those are 2010 bikes, we were developing it in 2009. And 2009 was the first year that the Big Ripper came out. So it wasn't even a fucking blip on the radar. So nobody was like, oh, now everyone, no matter what whoever hits us up, they want to do it with the Big Ripper. But anyway, so I'm just trying to think which bikes or which brands did come out with a new bike, you know, and obviously just recently the Dub Ripper, you know, that's a 29 plus PK Ripper.
Yeah.
You know, that was with Dub, you know, and again, that bike had never existed before. But that wasn't Dub's idea. They didn't.
I was going to say, yeah. Did you tell them like, hey, we should do this, or?
Yeah. No, that was me. Yeah. That was me doing that, you know? And then, but Beast Mode, you know, Marshawn, he was riding, you know, when I first saw him, you know, on an SE bike, you know, on Facebook of all places, I saw him, you know, at Hank and Frank's, you know, that he just bought a Fat Ripper. And the caption said like, oh, Marshawn Lynch was just in here, bought another Fat Ripper, you know. And then I got a hold of the guys there and like, oh yeah, he's got like 5 bikes or whatever, 6 bikes, or he's always buying SE bikes in here. You know, he likes to have bikes at his shop and, you know, for his friends to ride and everyone working at the shop. So anyway, when I got a hold of him, it was kind of the same thing of, I think he liked the Fat Ripper, but he wanted something different, and I was like, oh, let's, and I had the idea of doing a 27.5 was just coming, was already popular on the mountain bike side of things. I was like, fuck, let's do something. Let's, and I played it up, like if you look at the marketing, it says, I think we kind of said like, he designed it or developed it, which, we definitely, merged our ideas together, but he doesn't know geometry and all that shit, but it was really cool that, and you look at his build and his size, and it was a perfect opportunity, and that name too, beast mode, is like, fuck, that bike looks beast mode.
Yeah. 100%. All right, Todd, I'm gonna scoot you forward, dude, because I want to get to the famous bikes, but there's a couple things I want to show you real quick that we have in this photo set. Quickly, we're gonna go through one of my favorite bikes, the Crooks and Castles fixed camo bike. And
that was PK for fixed gear. So that was after we had done the DC PK for fixed gears that we did for 2 years. Then when we left working with DC, because remember 2011 was going to be that 29-inch quad,
right? That
didn't happen, and so then the DC PK for fixed gear wasn't happening, and then we got linked back in with Crooks and Castles,
right?
And this is I have this one in the garage.
Yeah, great looking bike.
Yeah. I see quite a few of these out there on the street still. I mean, they're pretty.
Zoom in on that.
I haven't been on that. No,
you said zoom in.
No, zoom in. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
but it's a unique bike, and that was one of the first times. If you look at the decals on the downtube, we really made the PK Ripper really big, because it's like it's camo, so let's make it just gigantic,
And there's that stem again that we talked about, like with the hidden bolts. Yeah, great looking stem. Yeah, thank you, Craig. Yeah, affix. So there's that. We got the Crooks on the seat. Let me zoom in real quick. Dope embossing there. Another catalog picture. This one's got the straps on the pedals.
Yeah, this is a badass bike.
Badass bike, dude. All right, and this is kind of interesting.
Yeah, you see the look. Yeah.
In 1 minute or less, can you describe this? Because I'm gonna. There we go.
That's a little fixed gear purse.
The fixed gear purse.
Your weed or something. I don't know what you put in there. I had one of these, man. I had it in my. I'm a collector of everything SE now, but for some reason, I remember just like, what the fuck do I need this thing for? I'm never going to use this. And I guess I don't know if I threw it away or gave it away, but I really wish I still had it.
Did that come with the bike?
No, they sold that separately. And they also sold some clothing too. A lot of these brands, at least made a couple of shirts. I still have this shirt too. And this is kind of a cool shirt. The SE logo on the front with the camo and the PK Ripper on the back.
Dude, Todd, make some more PK Ripper shirts, man. I dig these. These are dope.
PK Ripper or the SE or both?
I like the PK Ripper on them. Like Mark Eaton, DJ Mark Eaton. Shout out to DJ Mark Eaton. Plywood Hoods. He was wearing one the other day, like on one of his live DJ sets, and I was like, that is so dope.
Yeah, just PK Ripper on the front, right? That. Yep.
It is, yeah. It was from one of the releases. I want to point out that. What's that? You're gonna have one?
We are gonna do a new round of shirts. Nice. We haven't done shirts in a while, so
nice. I want to point out too that the star, like the triangle, like the Park Tool Allen key set would fit perfectly here. The one that doesn't fit in your top load stems, I just want to point that out, would fit right here. Agree or not agree, Craig? What do you say?
I'm gonna say yes, 100%. Just for you, buddy.
And that's just an inside joke for those of you that know, Okay. Also follow Todd Lyons on Instagram and you'll know what we're talking about. All right.
I said, you asked me what my Instagram was on the call you called me, and I said I gave the wrong name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everyone everyone knows your sense of humor. I think they would figure it out. That, it's not.
Well, no, I used to have a website called ToddLyons.com all through the 90s. I was like one of the first BMX guys that had a website. And anyway, I got all nostalgic. Anyway, all right. So now we are we are to the us versus them fixed gear freestyle frame set only. This was a really high end chromoly frame set, double, triple butted, heat treated, strong as heck frame set.
Look at that seat tube, by the way. Look at the seat tube.
Yeah, it kind of, it was a little cutout.
Yeah.
You'll see the pictures of it too. I think we have, but yeah, we did 2 years of this bike. These are the 2 different years, but just changed the frame color. The decals look like, it was a snake skin. It was really kind of unique looking. Yeah, go to that picture and the that one. Now you're gonna see the seat tube where it cuts. There's like a metal plate that cuts in that was welded in there that gives a bit more room for the clearance for the tires.
You can see it really well right there.
But man, those fucking frames, this is 2013, I think. I am not joking when I say we just sold the last of those about, I think, 18 months ago or so. The fixed gear freestyle it was started to be popular, and it just died quicker than you can whatever. But when something dies, the lead time of getting frames and this stuff made, by the time something dies, you oh shit, I've got 1,000 of them coming, and God, those trickled out of our warehouse. They had, I don't know, somebody anyway, but they're really high end frames. They're really good, but we sold them for just dirt cheap.
Looks like a lot went into it.
Yeah.
So this kind of takes us into, like I would say one of like Craig and I talk about this bike quite a bit. The famous bike. And I'm just going to arrange some pictures here real quick.
Santa Cruz came out before Famous. If you want to go
Santa Cruz. Okay. If you want to go chronological,
2014.
This is okay. Here we go. This is the Craig show right now, because
no, this is exactly the Craig show, dude. This is like when I was getting into, the bigger bike scene, and I was like looking at these, and the Santa Cruz was like the first one, Isaac and Todd, that like I was like, dude, I gotta have that bike. That was the one for me, because it tied into my skateboarding roots, from back in the day. Matter of fact, I still had a Santa Cruz deck in the garage. It was like, this bike is so clean, so like well laid out. It was perfect. Try to find
For those of you that listen to the show, I will tell you that Craig and I, so Craig and I both own PK Rippers. We both own Fat Quads.
Yep.
That we bought with our own money. And and we both, trust me, I love the PK and I love the Fat Quad. But listen, you cannot listen to Craig, Etnies BMX Craig, talk about a bike and not have him bring up the Santa Cruz. Like, this is his grail bike. The way, Todd, that you were talking about, like how people talk about like the limited edition one of ones. Craig has a boner for the Santa Cruz bikes. Like, he talks about it. I talk him out of buying them all the time, because I'll be at work and I'll get a text like, dude, I just saw a Santa Cruz. It's only $80,000. I'm like, Craig, no.
Dude, hey, it totally gives me a bike boner, and I'm glad you said that, man, because I even thought, like, you know what, I can get me a big ripper frame, and I could just, take it down to bare metal, just paint it, I can get the decals made and everything. And I'm like, you know what? I want the original, man. I want a real Santa Cruz Big Ripper, So
yeah. How did this happen?
Huh?
I want to know how it happened.
I can't remember. I think, it was Paul Merrill from Santa Cruz. He runs a licensing. He lives in Santa Cruz, but he does a licensing for Santa Cruz. I'm still friends with him to this day, but I don't know how the original, whether it was just a random email that came in or somebody put us in touch. But they came to us. I don't know how. But they were easy to work with. They're fun to work with. But I think we made 1,500 or so of them, and they bought a decent amount from us. I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank right now. I used to know, but the ones that they got from us weren't for retail sale. They were just for their dealers, and their dealers can buy them, but it was more for just for marketing, you know. But they that was probably the first time, you know, in a while that, you know, because that was 2014, and I don't think we did any collabs in 2013, and then 2012, whatever, I don't even know what we were just talking about in 2012. But anyway, but that was like one of our first big hits, and you know, in recent years of a collab, you know, that just, you know, people loved it. You know, and the artist was, you know, Jimbo Phillips, you know, which is, you know, Jim Phillips' son, that actually drew that screaming hand in with our logo, and then, you know, worked on the head tube logo and stuff. But
I have
yeah,
a question.
so
I have a question, Todd.
Yes.
I'm just going to jump right in, and I'm going to kind of ambush you real quick, because I'm looking at some pictures, and this dude says 2013 first artwork. Now, if you want me to cut this out of the show, I will. But what is that? What happened here, dude? Like, look at that fucking.
Oh yeah,
seat.
I know, it's pretty bad. Huh? Yeah, zoom in on that. I noticed that the other day. I totally forgot about it. And look at the seat too.
The seat, dude. The seat and that. Craig, look at the seat and let me zoom in.
I'm looking at. I mean, I'm looking at it, man. I mean, of course, because now I know what actually hit the market, and I look at this and I'm just like, nah, I'm good. And it's a cool design, but it just kind of doesn't have the same pop and flair that the one that we know.
One?
Yeah, come on, look at it. I mean, it's the colorway. It's just everything just clicks on it. The seat's dope, dude. Try to find one of those seats anywhere, but yeah, that one just, I don't know. For me personally, not.
Okay, I'll take the seat and the pads.
Dude, but
yeah, the seat and the pads from this one on that frame, dope. Yeah.
So that's weird. So yeah, so you saw that other graphics in 2013. So I wonder if we tried to put that in 13 and we just ran out of time, and then went to 14.
I'm glad you did, because then we got kind of these stripes. I don't know what you call them, but
I wonder if Todd, do you think that the one Isaac showed from 2013? I mean, obviously revisions happened. Do you think this could have just been in a line of revisions and then ended up with the final design from 2014, or was this a final?
No, that was never final. This
is just a revision, right?
Yeah,
it's like a pitch.
That was but an early one.
Right, yeah. Right.
Is that the only? Isaac? Is that the only other graphic we have for that one?
It's the only thing we got for 13 that I've seen so far.
We
may come back. We may come back with another one.
I mean, but with that graphic, yeah. So
that's it.
I'm looking on my computer at the total order quantity numbers. So let me tell you what we ordered of that bike.
Oh shit! Here you go, guys.
Actually, less than I thought. So it says 570. So yeah, 570. I mean, it says right here.
So there's 570 of the 2014s
of the Santa Cruz Big Ripper.
Wow!
There you have it.
Does that surprise you, Isaac?
Year,
I'll be honest, like, it really does shock me, because I thought it was way more limited than that. The way that it's either this is a grail bike that people just don't give up. I've yet to see one for sale. Craig finds them a lot. I've never seen one for sale.
No, I don't find them a lot. When I see them, I'm just like blown away that one guy said, here's a quick story, dude. Someone told me, hey man, there's this guy in the Philippines. He's got like 9 of them in a box. If you want one, we're going to try to get you one. I'm like, dude, I'm on it. And then the same guy's like, I called him, hey man, what's up with those Santa Cruz Big Rippers? They're not legit, man. They're knockoffs. That's my life right there. 9 in a box and they're knockoffs. But yeah, man.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Just say allegedly, please. Thank you, lawyers.
So I'm looking 570 in America, 190 in Europe, 65 in Asia, and that totals 825 for the world.
That really surprises me a lot. That really surprises me because just for the prices I'm seeing on the aftermarket for them.
And then the Big Ripper that year, I can't even remember what color it was, but the Big Ripper, the inline Big Ripper, we did 600 in America. And now we'll do a 1 PO of Big Rippers of like 2,000.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like this was before the Big Ripper started booming, you know.
Yep. So here's the 2014. Let's get past these. We'll come back. Do you remember what this is here? Is this from 14?
Yeah, well, the only year we did it, which is 14. But yeah, those are like kind of the hand drawn logos from Jimbo Phillips when he was putting together. Yep.
This is what I'm going to skip some stuff here, and I want to get straight to what I think is really interesting. Craig, look at this. So
I actually have never seen that before. So
let me get to the hand drawn.
Yeah.
Here's the hand drawn. So Craig had that.
Yep. I got that.
And then you get into, so what at this stage here, Todd, this is like a mock-up, it looks like to me.
Yeah. So there's different ways to do the decals when you see the wild decals under the clear coat, like the $100 wrap or this. This is actually, those logos are under the clear coat, just like I think the frame stickers were, just the Big Ripper also was under clear coat. But basically what you see is, if you go to a couple of different pictures, you'll be able to see it better. But, that's a huge sticker, that it's a really thin membrane sticker, that goes on the top tube. And then there's the head tube sticker. Then there's the down tube sticker. Then there's the seat tube sticker. Then there's the rear dropout sticker, the rear chain stays, the rear seat stays, those are all stickers that get placed before, on the frame after paint, but then before clear coat. Then clear coat makes those permanent and under the, basically, part of the frame under clear coat. But you see each of those little like eyelash looking things. I don't even know what you call those.
Eyelash makes sense.
Yeah, but so that's all one gigantic sticker. But then there's other bikes like, why am I drawing a blank?
PE. Didn't the PE have the Public Enemy was like clear coat over top, right?
Yeah, but there wasn't a bunch of little stickers. But there's other. What I'm trying to say is there's
D-blocks.
other times.
D-blocks.
D-blocks.
Famous. What is? Yeah. Well, those are actually all. So all of those bikes with the camouflage. Each of those camouflage pieces are separate stickers that are placed. So sometimes either there's, somebody on the assembly line placing each sticker, or they're placing one sheet of stickers. So what I was trying to get at.
By hand?
And then yes.
Holy shit.
And
bless that person. Bless them.
Well, actually, do you remember the wood? Yeah. Well, hold up, back up. The wood, or you don't have to back up the photo, but the wood grain OM flyer, that was not a hydro dip wood grain. That was a brushed, like the actual wood grain was, it's a brown frame, and then they take different other colors of brown and black, and they brush on what ends up looking like wood grain. So those are all like hand painted,
That's
and
crazy.
then the other way of getting, the crazy or the repeat pattern, on the frame is the hydro dip, which you guys probably been seeing 85 Cadillac going with their checkerboard. But then, that's what we do. That's what we did for the 2010 OM flyer, with the money wrap, as well as, the beast mode with the money wrap, which hydro dip, where they put that thin membrane of a decal on top of water, and then you drop the frame into the water, and it doesn't adhere to it. And then when you pull the frame out of the water, it adheres to the frame.
Yep.
And we've done that. We've done that with a couple other bikes. And one of them was in, I think, 2012-ish, 13. We did a metal wrap PK Ripper loop tail, a 20-inch PK Ripper loop tail that had like these metal plates, what it looked like. But there's a lot
you don't
of
say. I've actually, so here's a funny story. Craig, we just talked about this because Sean at Phoenix Bike Company was like, dude, take a look at this bike that just came in.
Yeah, same thing with the metal plates, right?
It looks like metal plates riveted to a PK Ripper. Am I right?
Yep, that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that bike sold like shit too. Like that was one of the ones that looks really cool up close, but you put a picture of it on a website, and if it's not a very zoomed in photo, it just looks like a gray bike, you know? But yeah, a lot of thought went into that one. That bike also, a lot of the aluminum parts were dark gray anodized, like a really cool color, you know. But again, it just looked kind of like everything was gray and silver and didn't really look that exciting until you see it up close.
Somebody in Phoenix has one. Shout out to that person.
That's right.
Can I point something out here? Look at this one, Craig.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I mean, Todd, you can talk, but I want to point out the spokes.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's the first sample, and that's the office I'm sitting in right now. If you see the gray walls behind me, that was before I had my furniture in there. So that was the first sample of that bike, you know, and I got it, brought it home, and at some point I realized, you know, on the graphic those red spokes look cool, and in real life they look like shit. You know, so you look at the spokes, the red spokes, I just wasn't feeling them at all. And we also had the fork decals was the same color of red that's on the down tube of the frame. And that dark red is, you know, that's their color. That's Santa Cruz's color, which looks great on the frame, but on the forks, it just looked weird, you know. And the same thing, like I said, was not feeling those red spokes. So we ended up, for the final product, you know, changing this red spokes to white spokes. And that's the first time we ever put white spokes on any bike. And now it's like we put white spokes on a lot of big rippers because the wheel is just so big. White spokes, you know, look just fucking cool. And then with those fork decals, we changed the fork decals to the light blue PMS 299 color, which matches the frame.
Yeah. So here's like this is a revision, right? Oh, look at this 2013.
Yeah. Well, no, because you can see the red spokes also. So that was when we were still working on it.
God damn it. Stop it. There we go. Look at the seat tube. So it's getting a little bit more interesting. Look at the pads.
Yeah, we're still fucking around.
Yeah, it's got more of the screaming hands on it than the eyelashes too. I think that's kind of a cool touch.
Yeah. And
and there you can see on the top, you can see on that one on the top of the seat, we had the head logo. I don't even know what you call it. But we ended up, when it was all said and done, we put their 40-year anniversary logo on the top.
There it is there.
You can see
right there.
And then,
but is that the color? Wait. But I don't think that's the final seat.
This is on your demo. This is on your sample.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm looking at that seat, and I think that we changed it.
Hold on. Take a look. Remember. It looks like it.
Yeah. Look at the rear. Look at the rear angle. Usually you can kind of see the seat a little bit. I know you can't, not at that angle. Look at the side again. Yeah. That's different. That's on the sample. I might have to go to the website. Yeah. So fuck it. If that bike is still floating around, they've got a one-off seat as well. Yeah. Zoom in on that. Let me see. I just don't remember the colors being like that on the seat. Oh, maybe it were.
It looks about right. Looks right to me.
What's this?
Yeah.
Look at this. What happened here?
What do you mean?
I'm just looking at like the different. Dope.
So here's a little story. That color of frame, the Santa Cruz, you know, because SE's colors, you know, from back in the day, the traditional SE colors is a light blue, and it's either PMS 297 or PMS 292. Those, and one of them is even lighter than the other. Those were the colors that SE Racing, you know, anytime they did a light blue color, they, you know, use one of those two color codes, 292 or 297. When we did this bike with Santa Cruz, their blue color is PMS 299, which is a little bit darker. And this is the first time we used it, and it looked great. And now, oftentimes, we use PMS 299. The only time we use 292 or 297 now is on a super retro bike like the STR1 quad angle or STR29 quad angle, you know. I think this blue looks better, you know, it's more appealing than the other super old school looking, you know, almost kind of feminine light blue. I'll let my dog ones in.
Yeah, dude. And you can see on this one, oh shit, this one here, it has the more, it's a darker red, you know, or it's a more
it almost looks brown. I mean,
burgundy brown.
Yeah, it looks like a burgundy brown. So
yeah, I think we did. Yeah, we definitely brightened that up a little bit.
All right.
Let's see them. Hey, wait. Let's see them shoes.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, okay, this here is where Craig's gonna have a shoegasm.
He better not tell me he has these in his garage. And I was only 45 minutes from his house this weekend.
Boom.
Hey, wait. You know what I do have in my garage? I have about 18 Santa Cruz SE Racing skateboards in my garage.
Oh man.
God
damn it. I was 45 minutes away.
All right. I'm going to zoom in on these and we'll go through them.
Wow. Unreal.
Shout out.
Was a
Pumas, dude. 87s.
That's a collab that they did with Puma. And when we started developing the bike, they basically, that was the guide, you know, that was one of the things they were showing us, like, you know, make it look like this shoe.
Yep. With the maroon and red. These are so
Those are sick,
dude.
Those are so sick. Those are so sick.
So if you own a pair of these Pumas, good ups on you.
God, I've never seen anyone riding the bike with those shoes. That'd be pretty badass.
Look at the tongue, dude. Even the tongue looks dope. The inside.
You know how crazy this is going to make some of the folks that own a Santa Cruz Big Ripper to see something like this, knowing those are out there. They now have something to, like, you know, go hunt down and find.
Oh, hold on. Here's the deck.
Yeah, so the underside of the deck has, you know, their typical screaming hand, and then on the top of it is, you know, the SE logo with the screaming hand.
So dope. All right.
Was there any other versions of that bike? Yeah, that's a lot of our collaboration bikes. Not a lot. Every single one of our collaboration bikes, and also some of our Perry Kramer, Stu Thompson, Mike Buffs, D-Blocks bikes, we put in sticker sheets, you know, so you get these custom, unique sticker sheets that you've, you know, that aren't available anywhere.
Very true. I got one. I have a question for you. How many of the PK Rippers came with signed Perry Kramer cards? All of them?
Ooh. So that's you know, this fucking coronavirus just fucked up everything. Yeah, so, well, there's a couple things with that.
Sore
One
subject?
was yeah. Yeah. Well, first of all, getting those cards signed and over to Asia, like, I'm getting them printed by a local guy in Huntington Beach. He's printing them. He's getting them to me. I'm driving them or sending them to Stu, Buff, and Perry's house. They're signing upwards of 1,000 of them sometimes. And then every time I would time it, most every time, and then D-Blocks also, I would time it when I'm going over to China. I'm taking the cards, you know, and at least 2 different times when I wasn't going there, when I sent them there, and both times they got lost, like lost, like, you know, and I was like, you know, so mad.
Oops.
So then I had to get, one of the times I had to get more made. And then anyway, it's just the logistics of trying to figure out how many bikes we're ordering, how many cards need to be signed, yada, yada, yada. Anyway, so now move into this round of bikes, and the Perry Kramer 27.5, that bike carried through into 2 model years. the 20 and 21. That came out in our model year 20 line, but we actually kept it running. We did, because that bike is just such a home run. I'm like, man, I'm going to let this live for like a year and a half or nearly 2 years.
Yes.
Why not this, yeah. So, but during that time, boom, coronavirus, boom, our guy that used to make these trading cards for us can't make them. He's like, oh, they're shut down, it's like, and then I'm not flying to China, and the last time I sent the cards there, they got lost. And so I was like, I'm not risking. I was like, so I had to go in and change the description on our website that used to say comes with authentic signed Perry Kramer trading card. I just deleted it, because it's like, well, some people are going to get them and some people aren't, and that's just whatever. It's just first world problems,
no kidding.
Totally.
Anyway, but I had to make sure that we just remove that on the website, it's like, and if you got one, consider yourself lucky. And kind of the same, I think Stu's bike may have had a bit of that. And then Perry's bike definitely had that. And I think Buff's bike may have as well. I can't remember, but now we're already developing the 2022 bikes, and all of these guys, well, I'm not going to tell you who's got bikes because they don't all have bikes, but I'm not even entering that realm of putting, as cool as that was, and as many years as I did it, and I really loved doing it, it's just not worth it because it's just a lot of work. And then, like I said, if I can't physically take them to the factory, I don't trust them. That'll, it's just too much, a lot of work on my side.
Understand. On behalf of people that love that kind of stuff, it's cool to open that up and see like, oh, this is signed. Like that was cool. Like I'm one of the lucky ones that got a signed card. And if you watch the unboxing video on our channel, you can literally watch, like I filmed the building of my bike over at PhoenixBikeCompany, and you literally watch Sean go, here you go, man. And he hands me like a signed PK Ripper card. But on the plus side, if you reach out to Perry, or you see him at a ride out, that dude will sign stuff for you. So, if you really want a PK Ripper autograph, it's not hard to get. If you come to like one of the SC sanctioned ride outs, he's very gracious about signing stuff. So, I still do plan to get cards made. Like I got a Dick Cheeseburger card in the works. Like, all these cards, we were actually going to have these printed back in like April, and then the whole thing, and I can't even get a hold of the guy that used to make the cards. So now we're in the midst right now trying to find a different card vendor, because like, hey, I still want to get cards for everyone, but I'm not going to mess with trying to get them in on the bikes. As of now, it's just on hold. I have one more question before I bump into the famous bikes. In our live chat for the first episode of this, you might have messed up and mentioned something that got my heart palpitating. And I know it got my friend Rick and Craig's friend Rick really excited. You said that there is a next PK Ripper, another model, like coming out with a different colorway of the PK Ripper eventually at some point in our lives.
Yes.
Go on.
I'm going to get summerish. We didn't change. I could look real quick, but we didn't change much spec because there wasn't really anything to change.
Nope, it's perfect. It's
I wasn't going to make the steer tube a half, or the head tube a half degree steeper so you can do your funky chickens.
You guys, true story. Todd said, would you change anything? I said, make it like a degree or a half a degree steeper. It's a perfect bike, you guys.
I can't remember the spec change. I'm gonna look them up right now. I look better here with my computer on, huh?
Man, that's lighting right there, bro.
Yeah,
I know. I forgot about that. Anyway, I'll look this up while we're talking. There'll definitely be another one. And like I said, that was one of the only bikes we let live into the next model year, because it was like, it's kind of like the first Fat Ripper. The first Fat Ripper was silver, and blue tires and just so clean, looked like a classic PK Ripper. It's like, man, that's going to be the best one ever. You know, and I still have one in the box that's been sitting outside for the last 3 years. but yeah, anyway, so that's why, you know, we weren't in any rush, you know, and our 2020 model year, like the bikes that are out, not the new ones that are coming out right now, but the previous ones, you know, like the Mike Buff Fat Ripper and, you know, the Dub Ripper and the Perry bike. That was a short season because the parent company filed that bankruptcy. So everything was late. And then the next line was just on time. So it was a really short selling window. So I didn't want it to only be available for 7 months and that's it. So that's why, you know, ran over into 2 model years. And now for the next model year, we are, bringing it back in another colorway. And when I'm saying model years right now, we actually stopped talking model years, even though I'm saying model years. Internally, we have to use model years to keep track of everything. But externally speaking, we no longer, you know, before, like when we'd say, hey, our new line of bikes out, and we'd say our 2019 or, you know, whatever, we'd be really specific about the model year. But now, number one, with the bankruptcy that we'd had, that really made things really weird. And now we've got the coronavirus that now it's like we're trying to develop some bikes right now in the, we're in the winter, fall, winter, whatever. We're in November of 2020 and we've got bikes we're developing right now that are pretty much done with development and we're ready to place the order and we won't get them till 22, you know? So it's going to be 14 months till we get some bikes. You know, so everything's just really weird, you know, and it just depending on what parts on which bikes, the lead times are just ridiculous. So it's even a better time to just stop talking model years, like I said, and that allows us, for example, you know, with the Perry bike to run it from one model year to the next model year, or it allows us to take other bikes and have it only come out for 6 months, and then we replace it with another colorway or whatever. It just gives us more flexibility to kind of bring bikes in and out whenever we want, instead of we used to just do like one big, like, okay, here's all the bikes, you know, and it's June and there's all the bikes, and the next June, here's all the bikes, you know, and now it's just, they just come and go, you know, and it's, I think, more exciting for the consumer and more exciting for me.
Okay.
Do all the models make it overseas, Todd? I mean,
no,
that don't.
For Europe, our European distributors never order. They're ordering more and more, but they never order every bike. You know, they may say, you know, for example, actually, I know they say, oh, you know, the SoCal Flyer, you know, that bike, it just doesn't sell here. And it's like, well, fuck, we sell thousands of them here, you know. But you know, every market is different, and you know, and you don't know the market unless you're in the market. You know,
I mean, so on the flip side, is there bikes that make it over there that aren't sold here? I mean, just curious.
No, never.
Okay.
Never. Other brands oftentimes will do that. Like, you know, cause SE was pretty tight with Fuji, you know, and Fuji in Europe, they might say, hey, we need this with a SRAM. I don't even know anything about all this shit, but a SRAM this and a SRAM this. And then in America, like, no, it has to be Shimano, you know. Oh, you know, in Europe, we need, you know, a whatever this size tire, you know. Oh, America, we need this. So there'd be subtle differences, you know, but oftentimes there wouldn't be like totally different models, you know. But I think maybe sometimes that did happen. But no, they've never developed. There's never been a distributor in any other country that's developed something for SE like in their market that wasn't available here.
That's so odd to me, dude, because I have so many friends that watch this channel from Australia that are begging for SE bikes, which is just so weird to me. They're just like, how can I get one in New South Wales or Australia? You know what I mean? Like, and I know they ping you too.
Well, no, I mean, we have a distributor in Australia. We have a really good distributor. They're called Oceania. And actually, you jot this down. I mean, there's sebikes.com.au, and you'll see everything available in Europe or Australia. And then there's another website, sebikes.eu, and that's our European website, you know, and it shows just what they're selling there. But it's the same thing. Like, so you might be going, God, man, that European distributor must be dropping, or your Australian distributor, you must be dropping the fucking, you know, the ball. You know, they're not getting these guys bikes. Nobody can find bikes. well, it's the same in America.
Yeah, same
you
thing.
know?
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let me
Where people are thinking, that we're dropping the ball. It's like, no, we're actually selling more than we ever have, but we just can't freaking keep up.
Yeah, you guys, seriously, like the distribution for anything right now sucks. It's not SE. Trying, like, go out and try and find some bullseye hubs or anything like that. Even things that are made in the US are hard to get right now because of coronavirus. So just give people grace. And I'm not just talking about like give Todd grace. I'm talking about like the like everything right now is just jacked because like the entire clothing industry had to shut down to make masks and protective gear. So, your local jean manufacturing hasn't been making jeans for the last 8 months either. So coming into, and this is just a PSA because I'm on a fucking high horse for me real quick. But like I hear people complaining about trying to get things and bikes and things like that. And you guys, like, this has never happened in our lifetimes, in our generation. So, you have a high demand product coming in at Christmas time. There's a lot of things you can't find right now. That electronics, PS5s, things like that. You know what I mean? It's nuts.
Garage doors, like I just ordered a garage door and it's like a 4-month lead time. I ordered some patio furniture, is a 6-month lead time, and yeah, it's just they don't. It's like, oh, you don't have to explain. I was like, I know, what I'm saying, it's just
all right. Before we jump in,
wait, what was I looking on my computer? I was all excited to dig up something, and I got
I'm glad you looped back to this. PK Ripper 27.5s for the next model release.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna. Yeah, I wasn't gonna. Yeah.
Can you give me one, like, just tell me a color, Todd? Give me something. Is it going to be?
Silver.
It's not silver. Can you give me a color that's on the bike? I'm leaving this in
blue.
the podcast, by the way.
He said blue.
Oh my God, Rick! Right now, Rick. My buddy Rick, who runs the PK Ripper fan page on Instagram, just passed out. Somebody revive him. Have you seen some of the custom PKs that he's making, the custom 27.5 PKs that he's done? Have you seen some of them powder coated?
The one that was like a tan one or gold. I think we just posted that on our website, on our social media. Was that him?
Yep, he does some OG ones, dude. Like he did a powder blue with like the OG, like BMX innovations on the landing gear. The dude goes off, bro.
Wait. I'm looking at the spec changes that on this next year's bike, and line number 43 says, "Remove the Perry Kramer signature card."
There you go, Isaac. There you go, bud.
There it is.
Not many changes. I am upgrading all of the bikes with the aluminum cranks. We're putting the steel or the steel pedal inserts in those cranks because we've had some issues with some people stripping out their cranks. So that'll be a small upcharge, but yeah. So that was, we used that crank for quite a few years with no issues, and then also we had issues out of nowhere, and I don't know what happened, but anyway. So yeah. So there will be a steel insert, so there's no issues of people stripping out their pedal and their crank arm.
Well worth it.
Okay, you guys, we'll get back on the collab bikes, but you guys, you understand the PK Ripper is it's my God mode bike. I talk about it all the time. I think it's a perfect flatland bike. It's up there. Like, people ask me all the time, what's your favorite, the Fat Quad or the PK? And ask me 5 minutes from now, it'll flip flop. I love the PK Ripper. I think it is. If someone asks me what bike should I get, PK Ripper 27.5. If you're over the age of 30 years old, the PK Ripper is going to be a God mode bike to you. And now we're going to go on to we're going to head on to the famous, what we were supposed to be talking about.
All right.
So I'm going to bring up now, I had these sorted earlier, but I don't any longer. So I'm going to, thank you, babe. Shout out to my wife right now who just brought me beers. Shout out, Brent. Thank you.
Go
Okay.
for it.
Is it a beer or truly?
No, these are my, I call them, Craig knows exactly. I call them water beers because it makes me feel less like a lush.
I just like how Todd said, is it a beer?
Is it,
or
is it a beer?
like you're not even in the same category, homie. Continue.
You know what, dude? Okay, so Todd, I'm just going to vent real quick. Your good friend, Jason Morris was kind of cool with it, but then this dude, Dick Cheeseburger, started giving me all kinds of shit about drinking Trulies. So your team rider, Dick Cheeseburger, I shotgunned a Truly with him, and he made fun of me for it. So, but anyway, has nothing to do with you.
Funny.
I'm just venting to you about your team rider. Okay, so here we have what I think is pretty dope. A gold fast or a gold famous bike. What happened here? Are you seeing
So
this?
Travis Barker actually has a lot of, Travis Barker, he rode BMX when he was a kid. He loves BMX. He actually he's got, like, if you follow his Instagram, you'll see a picture. He's got like some mint condition, like Diamondback or some shit, like, from way back in the day, or Hutch Trickstar or whatever. Yeah. But he's an old BMX head, and he's got ideas and stuff. And all of these were just, his ideas of what he wanted in a bike. These were early on designs. Now what are those revision numbers? It's kind of small, but maybe you can see it, Isaac. But now these have started to have the revision numbers.
82613, 82613, 826.
Oh, but there's not it's not a numbered like we do now with
revision.
Revision 5, 6,
Yeah. This is 5, 5, 5.
Okay, so yeah, we weren't
5.
Oh, look at that one. That one's cool, huh? Yeah, well, yeah. This was in our catalog. That was the final done and dusted.
Okay, hold on. Look at this. This is another 5. Look at that guy.
Leopard print.
That's
white. That's
print.
fucking bad. That's cool.
Now we're getting to know what actually came out. Revision 2. This is 14. Hold on. 2000.
Yeah. This is another thing. So I think, again, it's kind of weird where we're seeing these early graphic attempts that are 1 year, and then the final one is a different year. So I can't recall how.
So this is revision 1, 9/24/13. This one's okay. So this is 13 revision 2013, 2014. So this one has like a tiger stripe that's vertical. Here was closer to what we actually had.
Close, exactly.
Now this was back in 13 and 13. So here's the vertical tiger stripe again. I want to look at the gold one more time. Oh, I jumped a couple down here. Okay, so look at that gold. Okay.
That's bad.
Yeah, this is 13 revision 5. That gold one's pretty dope, dude. And here we go. 50. This is 2015. Revision 1 of 2013. So this is one of the first ones. And we're getting into, hold up. Here's 2014 revision 1. That's all black, like black on black. That looks kind of familiar to something I've seen this year. All right. 2014 revision 2, black and gold. Mm-hmm. And then we're coming up on one I think looks super dope.
That's kind of like
revision 3 of 2013. Is that Paisley's? It's Paisley's, huh?
Almost looks like the bandana.
Yeah, like Paisley's from a bandana. Yeah, you're right. This one I think looks pretty dope.
Yeah, that's kind of unique.
Yeah, that one's pretty neat.
You might see something like that one of these days. Never mind.
Oops. Can't unsay it, homie.
Yep. Okay. And again, 2013 with that vertical tiger stripes. And okay, this is it for the revision and the could have beens. Okay, so Todd, when I'm looking at this gold one, who gets the final say on this? Is that Travis or is that you? when you're looking at these?
Well, so here's what I'm thinking happened with all these kind of crazy ones or whatever, that there's two ways when we start working with a brand. We can either give them our blank canvas of this bike, where they can go in and alter everything, or they, and then sometimes we get, pretty crazy stuff back. Although none of this is that crazy, but sometimes we get like, stuff on the tires and like, just they'll color stuff that can't be colored, like they'll, anyway, but, so one option is to give them the blank canvas and they just kind of go at it, which I think is what happened here, and then another option or another way to do it is they send us all of their logos, their vector files or whatever, their logos. And then we place their logos and, and we do the color, maybe they tell us the color of the bike they want and we kind of take the first stab at it. And then we just kind of go back and forth and, so, I mean, it's a collaboration, I guess in the truest sense, I mean, I have the final say, of course, but, they, we kind of try to work what they want. And I'm here to and I'm not the designer either. We have a designer, his name's Vinny, he lives out in where's he live? Out east. I'm drawing like where he lives. But he does all the, I kind of direct him, or he does his own ideas, and then me and him collaborate and on regular bikes and just, back and forth of what I want, what he wants. And then anyway, so yeah, it's a collaboration with the brand and myself and Vinny. So it's kind of a three-way thing until we get what we're all happy with.
Okay. What was it like working with Travis? Because I feel like he would be super hands-on. Maybe he's not. What was do you remember if he was super hands-on?
Yeah, no, he is. There was another guy that worked there. I can't remember his name, but he, that's the guy I was in touch with mostly day to day. Kind of the same thing with Marshawn Lynch and Beast Mode. I mean, obviously I talk to Marshawn sometimes on the phone, we text him. I was just actually we just finished the new Beast Mode bike. We just ordered it. Actually today, we just ordered it today. We ordered a lot of them, but a brand new Beast Mode that you've never seen. So, and
Hold
that
on.
was,
go on.
We ordered two bikes today that nobody knows about. And again, these bikes may not be available for upwards of 12 months, but they're done, they're dusted, spec is complete, graphics is complete, pricing is complete. So we placed the order to the factory today. And just recently I was working with Marshawn about, hey, what do you think of this? Hey, what do you think of that? Like the sticker sheet. We just did the sticker sheet and it's a fucking perfect. It's like a caricature drawing of him, and he was super down with it, but it was kind of crazy, goofy, fun,
Is it the Beast Mode model or is it okay? So I feel like the way that I've been trolled by you in the past, I have to ask very basic questions. Is it the Beast Mode platform that I'm familiar with that you ordered, or could he have ordered a Beast Mode quad, like a Beast Mode quad, or is it a Beast Mode 27.5 that I know? No,
well, he did want something different. What the fuck did he want? He was asking for something, and it was like literally like 3 weeks ago, though. I was like, "Yo," what did he? Yeah, I'll send you a screen grab with a text.
What's the story behind the when did he come in and say, I want my face on the dollars, and you had to change it up? Because
that's pretty funny, actually. So at some point, it was like developing that bike early on when we were trying to figure out what we should do. I was like, well, he's like, well, one of my nicknames is Money Lynch, and I was like, oh shit, we could do, yeah, we, it was like, then I'm showing him the 2010 OM flyer we made. And I bet he was joking, like, or something like, oh man, that's, put my name on that mug, or some shit like that, and anyway, it went over my head. And so then, go back a year and a half ago or whatever, I'm in Asia. We're doing the samples are done. We're doing the photo shoot. This is like 2 Februaries ago, do the photo shoot. we had ordered 3 extra samples because every time we do a beast mode bike, we're going to do a beast mode ride out, and we're going to make sure Marshawn's on one, I'm on one, and D-Blocks is on one. So we get 3 extra samples made on top of the photo shoot sample. You know, they get air shipped over here. We ended up doing the ride out in Seattle, you know, because, you know, he's starting to play for the Seahawks, you know, and it's like, oh, perfect timing. Let's, you know, so we go to the beast mode store and we've got the bikes, you know, and whatever you do with Marshawn, he's always late. I mean, even if it's his own ride out, he's fucking late, you know. But anyway, so we're kind of waiting there, hanging out waiting for him to come in, and he comes in, and he hadn't seen the bike in real life yet, you know. And he sees it, and he's just all hyped on it, and then he's like, man, you couldn't get my face on here. I was like, wait, I was like, what? No, I was like, man, it's a big mold feeder. I didn't plan for that. And he's like, man, I got you. He's like, dude, it don't matter. He's like, I'll pay for it, you know. I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, man, get my face on there. I was like, all right, let me see what I can do. You know, so anyway, none of the bikes had been ordered yet. You know, that was still like early, you know, so we hadn't ordered. So and just getting that decal vendor, that hydro dip vendor to explain to them, no, I want this guy's head on there. I still want the $100 bill, but I want this guy's head. And I'm working in my factory and to them to. Anyway, it was an ordeal, but at the end of the day, they got it right, and it looked fucking perfect. I mean, I love it with his head on there. It just looks so classic and cocky and funny, and you know, and it looks cool too. You know, anyway. But boy, did that piss off some old school dudes. You know, that, you know, a lot of the old school heads were like, you know, I don't want him on my bike, and I could kind of see that. You know, I don't know if it was a little undercover rate, you know, not racist, but prejudice, whatever, you know, we're like, I don't want a black guy on my bike, whatever. I want the real American, you know, president, you know, and some people, when they first saw the bike, you know, they saw the sample that we did debut at the Seattle ride out that did have, you know, Benjamin, you know, Franklin on there. But anyway, so then that gave us the opportunity, you know, to go, you know what? All right, let's make some of these guys happy. You know, let's do 100 hundreds, you know? So one of our orders that we had like just recently placed, you know, I went back to the factory and, you know, contacted them and said, hey, can we do 100 a bike? Can we change the hydro dip back to the regular for 100 of these? And they said, sure, no problem. And then that really gave us the opportunity to have a collaboration or a limited edition with inside of a limited edition. And boy,
yeah,
that was huge.
Yeah.
You know? And then that just created the hype and so. And
then the seat and the pads.
Yeah. So yeah. And then, those sold in a quick hot second. I think we did 600 pad sets and 600 seats ish, and they were sold out in a day. The pads, I don't even think made it to the website. No, the pads didn't make it to the website, I don't think. And the seats did, and within a day they were gone.
I don't even remember seeing them hit, dude. I remember you saying like, hey, it was all over social media. And then the next post I saw was like, and they're sold out.
Yeah. You know, you just, you know, it's like, it's just by the, you know, and we started developing those about a year ago. It took about a year for those to get to market. And right now that's the lead time for, you know, that's not even, you know, that's the lead time when you order something right now. So anyway, so you just can't, you know, and the brand keeps getting that much more popular and in demand every day. So it's like, okay, yeah, this should be enough. And then when that lands 9 months or 12 months later, like, fuck, that wasn't nowhere near enough. So we just go off tangent or a second or whatever, but our parts and accessories, you know, all the stuff that's on the website now, you know, that stuff that we were making, you know, 2 years ago, you know, the red seat, the black seat, the blue seat, the gnarler stems, the seat post clamps, you know, the pad sets, the number plates, all that. And, you know, the parent company filed bankruptcy, you know, coming up on 2 years ago, and everything got just turned into a clusterfuck. We couldn't order anything. We didn't have any parts and accessories really in stock at all for like nearly a year. You know, they showed on the website, but that was before we were selling stuff on the website, but it just showed it on the website. Anyway, so we ordered parts and accessories back in April for the first time in like a year. And when they just landed about 2 weeks ago, by the time they landed, 90% of it was already pre-sold to dealers. We didn't even get a chance to put it on our website to sell direct to consumers. It was already sold. And then the next shipment we ordered in June, that's not arriving until March or April or May. And then the next shipment we ordered in October, that's not arriving until August. You know, so it's just trying to keep up, you know, with demand is just, you know, but our second and third orders, we ordered double, I don't know, I think triple the amount of stuff. But again, once that lands, oh shit, that wasn't enough, you know, and it's just, you just, anyway, telling my
I don't think you can order enough right now, to be honest with you, Todd. Like, I mean, just to feed the demand of, I mean, even me, dude, like where I'm like, I consider myself like a casual rider, you know what I mean? But I'm like, I'm over here, like, you know, even now, like I'm like the purple Big Ripper. Like my wife is now a casual rider, you know what I mean? Where she's just like, you know, I'm like, what do you want for Christmas? She's like, I want that purple, you know, everyone knows the story, but she wants a, like, she wants an LA Ripper. Yeah. Which Christmas, right. You know what I mean? So, and here's the thing, dude, like, I totally understand. It sucks, but like, you know, it's the getting bikes over here, like a real world example, dude. Like I ordered a new iPhone because mine's like 3 years old, and my phone is delayed because my phone is coming from China. Like it was supposed to be here today. This isn't my new phone, friends. And so you don't see me bitching at Apple because my phone isn't here. So anyway, that's just my tangent. But anyway,
well, hold on. Let me finish this little thing. So our parts and accessories are. My phone is about to die again. Next time I'm going to come with a fully charged phone. Our parts and accessories are also distributed to dealers by J&B Imports. If you go to they have their websites like public. You could see that, you know, you can't buy anything on there, but it's called JBI.bike, I think. But J&B, anyway, they sell a lot of SEPNA. So when I was just saying, oh, we're not getting until May, that's through SE's main distributor, which is called BikeCo, who used to own the brand before the bankruptcy. Now they are the North American and South American distributor of SE. They don't own the brand anymore. But anyway, so on the website may say, for example, I don't know, the gnarler stems. You might see all 5 colors, not available on the website. Please check with your local dealer.
Yep.
And then even the local dealer can't buy it from BikeCo. BikeCo sells all the bikes. Like BikeCo sells the bikes in auto dealers. Anyway, if they have an account with J&B may have just got 2,000 stems, you know? So I guess I'm trying to backtrack and say, you know, just because BikeCo, which is the North American distributor of bicycles, which does some P&A, if they're sold out of P&A, doesn't mean that J&B is. You know, and J&B, they are really good at P&A, parts and accessories. BikeCo is really good at selling bikes.
Yeah, you have to you actually have to check and see, like you said, the public can go on there and check it out. They'll even list if it's available in a certain state. It'll say Florida out, California out.
Yeah.
You know, they go like that. So you could probably check with your local bike shop if they're authorized or have an account with JBI.
Yeah.
You know, kind of see if they can hook you up with your order or your request for P&A.
And J&B, they sell items, SE items that BikeCo doesn't. You know, so like wheel sets and hubs and a couple other things. But yeah, so that's, I oftentimes on social media, I tell somebody, hey, ask your dealer to order from J&B, you know. You know, if they're like, hey, I can't get this part, you know, it's like, and they're like, hey, you're out of stock on the website. It's like, well, J&B probably has it, you know, so it's kind of a weird, you know.
All right, Todd, your phone's dying. I'm going to bring you back to the famous bikes real quick. I'm sorry I got you guys off on the beast modes, but I'm trying to get as much information about stuff as I can because I'm a fan too. So here we've got, so I mean, just bringing this back, we have the spec'd bikes. Again, here you are with the decals that go underneath the bike. I'm assuming, right?
That's blow that up. Yeah, I have, yeah, you know, I have some other photos of that. I'm going to dig them up right now, but I've got other photos like of at, I think, oh, you know what it is? It's that one video that I posted a couple of times where I'm in the factory, you know, it was an ESPN video or a behind the scenes. They have that, like, I'm holding that bike, like when we were actually making it, the famous Stars and Straps, where you can see all the stickers or all the paper stickers, you know, and what we're doing there is just checking for sizing and making sure everything is going to, you know, fit. Maybe
post that up Monday, because we're gonna debut this coming Monday. So maybe if you do it Monday or Tuesday, right, if you want to post that. Super interesting to see like how you have it, like, okay, here's the bottom. I think that's fantastic. Are you ever gonna do frame and forks, Todd?
Like, nah, we've thought about it, but I mean, obviously it would eat away at the complete bike sales.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the bikes aren't that expensive, you know? So no, I don't think so. Yeah.
Okay. I just hear that a lot. So, okay, I'm going to bump in. Here's the party invite.
Yeah. So this was the debut of the bike at Brooklyn Projects, which is on Fairfax or Melrose, you know, right in
7427 Melrose. Yeah.
There it is. Yeah. Right where all the cool hip shops are. And the shop is owned by Dominic. What the hell am I drawing? His name is Blanco. Dom DeLuca. No, that's a freestyle guy, right?
There's Dino DeLuca.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is Dom. That's definitely Dom DeLuca. Anyway, you'll see a picture of him in a second. But he's an old school BMX head. You know, he grew up in Brooklyn. You know, that's why it's called Brooklyn Project. He, you know, with Robbie Morales and all those guys, he knew the guys from base. You know, and anyway, but now he's really into the streetwear stuff. And anyway, so Travis Barker decided to debut the bike and do a giveaway, you know, in his store. And that's, me and my wife, lovely wife, and Travis. But this was a really cool event. Like, people were lined up out the door, you know, to come, you know, not necessarily just see the bike, but, you know, obviously see Travis, get autographs from Travis and stuff. But it was a really cool event.
Yep. So there's you and the wife. Your wife is funny, dude. Anytime like you guys do those, like when you were doing those live with your vacation with Cheeseburger, listen to your wife talk about you guys while you guys are doing like dumb like husband stuff was absolutely hilarious. Like, that was one of my favorite things.
Funny, dude.
She's just like, it was literally, okay, you guys, behind the scenes, it was Jason Morris's wife and Mar and
Made.
Am I saying it right? Am I saying it wrong? Yeah, right.
Yeah, Made.
Okay.
Made.
Dude, she's hilarious when she talks about like you and the stuff you do. Anyway, shout out to your wife, and thanks for letting us.
She's not afraid to. Yeah, she's not afraid to make fun of me.
Not at all, dude. And she was hilarious on your live streams. I think you should do more live streams with her. Here we go. We have 14-year-old D Blocks right here.
So this is, and Travis and myself on the Cars ride.
You have Vin Diesel, Travis, and 14-year-old D Blocks. Now this. Yes. I have to get to this picture because this guy. Let's just make fun of this guy for a minute. Like, this guy, KTLA, like, who drew the short straw to like come out and interview the BMX guys? Because I don't think you could have picked a more wrong guy to interview, y'all. Go ahead, Todd. I'm sorry.
That guy. Like I said, I need to post a video, but he called D Blocks. He said D Blocks. I can't remember what he said, but he said D Blocks' name wrong, like D's nuts or something like that. And Travis corrected him like on live TV, but it's pretty funny. So,
of course,
so the storyline, the storyline here, and you can flip through some of the other photos, but we're at Disneyland, you know, right here.
I just have to point out how young D Blocks is right here. Like, 14-year-old D Blocks is my favorite. Like,
yeah, he's grown up in the last 5 years, huh?
I love D Blocks, but man, like, look at him here. Look how young he just looks. I love it. I love it. And I love that your pants, shout out to your shorts for matching the bike. Can we just talk about that?
What a coincidence.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off.
So this isn't much after I first saw D-Block on Instagram. I said, "Holy shit, look at this guy," and I saw him for a while, and we talked back and forth, and I'm like, hey, I'm going to send you a bike. And the first bike I sent him was the famous Stars and Straps bike. And I sent him, I don't know if I sent him the sample, but I got him one of the first ones. And that was when D-Blocks was just starting to blow up, on social media. And Travis Barker saw him, because he was obviously tagging, famous Stars and Straps. He's riding, that immediately was his favorite bike. D-Blocks had never had a 29-inch bike before. And then he started going no, it was his first one. Then he started going bananas. So when D-Blocks, the first pictures I saw with D-Blocks, if you go to his social media, I think he still has all his photos, and just scroll back. You can kind of see the storyline or the timeline. But what he was riding the tan Flowable Flyer from 2013 or 12. I don't know which, but it was a tan and a little bit of gold, 24-inch Flowable Flyer. Like that was his bike that he was doing all the shit on in the streets. Anyway, so I sent him the Big Ripper, and once he had the Big Ripper, he just blew up. Like people were, the whole bike life thing really wasn't happening yet, but people were like, "What the fuck bike is that? I need that bike. Anyway, long story short, Travis Barker from Blink 182 and the owner of the brand Famous Stars and Straps sees him, and it's the brand's 15-year anniversary, and that's why we're even at Disneyland. He knew he was going to do a TV thing at Disneyland to celebrate their anniversary, and part of their anniversary year was this bike. That was part of their anniversary, and part of that bike was, oh shit, let's bring D-Blocks out. And so they flew him out there, and this was actually the first trip that I met D-Blocks. He flew in, I picked him up at the airport, and they had a hotel for him, and anyway, we hung out and we did this thing in Disneyland. Then we also went to Venice Beach and did a video with their guys, the Famous Stars and Straps guys were filming D-Blocks. And we did like kind of not really a ride out, but just rode through Venice Beach, and they filmed them. And actually I have footage of that as well, but it's really, anyway, so this was like the start of it all, so to speak.
Can we just talk about D-Block's judgment right here? Look at his eyes. Look at his face. Judging this guy that I'm going to name Roger. Roger interviewing.
He's saying, what did he call me? What?
You flew me out for what?
I know there was an MFer coming out of his mouth.
Yeah, I'm standing there taking all these pictures. I was dying laughing when he said that.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Shout out to D-Blocks.
Sometimes D-Blocks does these things on his Instagram where he's like, "Ask me a question," and he always gets, "What's your favorite bike?" Dude, he always says the Famous is his favorite bike out of all of them he has. So
yep. Do you know?
He'll find like this. Sorry, say it again.
No, doesn't Lottie Dottie ride a Famous too?
Yep. Yeah, we gave Lottie Dottie another bike, like another Big Ripper, and then he rode it like three times. Then he's right back on the Famous.
Yeah.
But those both of them love the Famous. Yeah, like just recently, D-Blocks was like, all of a sudden he said he got another. All of a sudden he showed a picture that he got a brand new D-Blocks in the box. Sorry, a new Famous like in the box.
I'm just going through these real quick because I'm trying to get to these before your phone dies.
No, it's plugged back in, so we're cool. But yeah, so okay. those logos were obviously done by their team.
If I had room for a tattoo, if I had room on my body for a tattoo, I would get that right there. That's
pretty nice.
And then the SE Famous right there. That's sick, dude. I bet you my friend LJ could make a sick looking sticker right there with some reflective right around there. Okay.
He
Go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I was going to say this just got brought up the other day. Like, so RideOutSupply now is a licensed, they have a license with SE. So, because before they weren't able to they can make frame stickers for your SE, but if it said Big Ripper, now you got to change it to Big Dipper or something. And you can't put the SE logo on the front. It had to be a RideOutSupply logo. But I don't know if it's a signed agreement yet, but the plan is, that they will be, basically the licensing to be allowed to, he could make exact replicas of our logos. But when it's a collaboration bike with Famous Stars and Straps, Beast Mode, the Hundreds, Crooks and Castles, Santa Cruz, he does not have, he doesn't have authorization with those brands, so he wouldn't be able to make that one.
Last share I'm going to do is these original graphics, new graphics.
I wonder what the difference is. I can't even tell. So those, when you see pink, whenever you see pink on something like this, what the fuck are they doing pink? The pink represents white. That's why it's pink.
Gotcha. All right. And also I will just to tell you how much I know about that LJ thing, or with RideOutSupply. I was trying to get some purple, because my PK is purple and black and brushed. And I'm good friends with LJ, and he was like, fuck off, I can't make them. True story. He didn't say fuck off, but he said, like, ain't happening, bro. I can't make that. And so I had to find like some bootleg person that would make me some purple PK Ripper stickers.
So how long ago was that?
I mean, how long the PK was been out for 6-7 months? When did we get the PKs, Craig?
Yeah, about that long ago.
Like March, April.
Yeah. So maybe that the agreement isn't totally final, but once it is, he'll be able to make SC decals with all the SC logo.
LJ, you're going to get a message from your friend Isaac on Monday when this premieres, asking for some purple PK Ripper stickers. All right, so Todd, we've been on the phone for way too long. This is probably our longest episode ever. I'm going to leave it one episode though. So shout out to everyone right now who's watching this after 2 hours, and you all have to go pee, and you've been sitting here chatting with us live on YouTube. Shout out to you. We love you for this. Craig, what an amazing night. Thank you for hanging in there. I know Craig has had a migraine since before we started this podcast, and I talked him into sticking around. And so
here I am, dude. Craig. No, man, I'm fully enlightened, dude. Migraine or not. I just can't get enough of these, man. I'm probably more silent than anything because I'm so into like Todd's, the backstories, the designs, the way they, fruition brought these to the table. And then you just see the progress. I mean, who's not going to love that? I mean, everybody's going to be stoked on these because I'm seeing things I've never seen before. I'm sure you are too. Todd's gracious enough to share his information, his history with the brand and with the collaborations, man. I just got to say it's an incredible thing to be a part of, and hope everyone out there is just getting super stoked like I am, and I'm sure you are too.
Yeah. Craig or Todd, absolutely. Craig, you're 100% right. Todd, one of the things that fans of SE love about you is you have no filter, and you say everything you're not supposed to. And so that gives us the opportunity to hear, because I mean, let's just be honest. Like, I can't get this kind of information from GT. I can't get this information from any other bikes that are, bike manufacturers. They don't have anyone that's actively, on social media, talking about their bikes. There's nobody that's out there that's nobody else has a Todd. And so the fact that you interact with the fans of your brand, the haters of your brand, the casual, fan, and there's two things that set you apart. You engage with the community, and you're a rider. And so, good luck for any other brand that tries to duplicate the formula of SE success, because it's just not going to happen. So
don't forget, nobody else has a guy who's going to wear that friggin' Agroman costume either, with the the nuts hanging out.
What's weird, like, well, but for quite a few years, like when I not transferred, but transitioned from pro rider to brand manager and product manager. So I got hired by SE in 2004, but I was still racing. I started riding. I started being sponsored by SE in January of December of 2003. So, and then summer of 2004, they hired me on. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at, we went through the whole story before, but for the first few years, 2005, 2006, 2007, I really drifted out of riding and got so enveloped in just understanding speccing a bike, and not so much on the marketing side, but just understanding how to spec a bike, how to design a bike, how to work with the Asian factories, how to know what price is right, how to know what parts are right for every single price level bike. And it was the biggest, most gigantic. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at is there was some years, I would say 2006, 7, 8, 9-ish, that I was behind the scenes, gone, ghost, and this was before the ride outs and all that shit, So I was, people knew me, obviously, but I wasn't, and then also social media wasn't booming like it is now either, you know what I'm saying? So there was a time that I was just behind the scene and working a shitload, and that's when I'd go to work in Philly in a goddamn cubicle for 5 weeks at a time. I had an apartment there for 3 years, so I mean, I did put in the time anyway, but I like my life now better than then, but anyway, so I guess what I'm trying to say is that I wasn't always like at the forefront of whatever I'm doing now.
Well, we're lucky to have you, and Essie's lucky to have you. And shout out to the junior college marketing, person that taught you everything that you know.
Hey, 10 years of junior college, man. That's fucking take you far.
Man, they loved you, dude.
I would love to see like you return to that junior marketing like classroom, that professor, and be like, hey, I used to sit right up there and just like, look what I've done. Look at the company that I've marketed for. I've broken all the rules, and look at me now.
I have a video from I think it was a public speaking or some sort of marketing class, but I had to do a speech, and of course I did it about BMX. And this, I did that, and obviously we all did that in freaking junior high school. Every time you could do anything about, even in college, we did a huge group project in the marketing class, and I did it on vans. Anyway, but they videoed us, so I have it on my video stuff. I'm gonna post that sometime, but it's pretty funny, like hearing me walk around. I think I'm showing them pictures of myself and shit in the class, whatever. But I can't remember what the exact project was. But I know I'm just in college still talking about BMX.
I love that. Todd, thank you so much for giving us a good 2 hours of your time to just talk about the collaborations. The next time we get you, we're going to move into some of the more current collaborations, right? Because now we've talked about Famous, talked about Santa Cruz. What's next?
Yeah, let me look. So we've got 5 more years to go, I think, and I think tonight we only did like 3. Let me see. Let me look at the list. So we'll build in the hype. So we've got Pabst Blue Ribbon, Creature Skateboards, clothing brand Huff. That was just a Public Enemy, Beast Mode, Dogtown, Golf Wang with Tyler the Creator, a couple one-off things with Puma, and then Dub.
All right.
Then,
man, it's on.
And then soon enough we'll be talking about the new shit after some point.
And then we get to talk about one of Craig and I's favorite topics, the ones that did not happen. So everybody, thank you so much. I'm going to wrap up for Craig because Craig's got a migraine that's splitting his head in two. You guys, on behalf of Etnies BMX, Craig and myself and Todd Lyons, thank you for spending your night with us. Thank you for watching this video. Thank you for riding bikes, whatever age you are, whatever geographic location you are. We love you. Shout out to our sponsors, Etnies Shoes, KnightBikeCompany. Thank you so much for supporting the podcast and doing all that you do for big bikes. Todd, any last words that you have?
See you guys at the SoCal BMX ride. If whoever comes, we're gonna have fun.
The 100-mile ride. It's coming up. Follow Todd Lyons on his Instagram at Todd Lyons, not .com, Todd Lyons. It's going to be a 3-day event. It's not sponsored or endorsed. 3 Days of Radness, not sponsored or endorsed by SE Racing. This is just come ride with your friend Todd. Check his social media. Everyone's invited. You can take out from downtown LA, ride up the coast for 100 miles, spread over 3 days. You'll see all that and more on his social media. Todd, again, thank you so much. Everybody, if you haven't liked this video yet, head over and hit the like button. We appreciate that if you've enjoyed it. If you didn't, don't like it. We'd love to have you subscribe if you like this kind of content. If you're an old fool like myself and Craig, tune in and you'll see more stuff like this. If you're a Bike Life kid, subscribe and you'll see more stuff from Todd, and you'll find out all about how things are going and what you can expect next. Thank you so much, Todd, again, for telling us all the secrets. And I'm sure you're going to tune into the live chat if you're available, and tell us some more secrets that you're not supposed to mention. We appreciate that. I'm telling you in advance, like I'm a genie, but I just know Todd says things he's not supposed to say all the time. So I'm sure the live chat has been amazing. Shout out to you for live chatting with us. And if you're watching this later, shout out for watching it. So we appreciate you. We love you. Big Bike BMX, and we're out. Craig, say goodbye.
Yo, we'll see you, everybody. Thanks for coming out, Todd, Isaac, and everybody who showed up here at Big Bike BMX. We'll see you on the next one.
Craig, we love you for standing in, buddy. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
All right. Peace.
Later.